she quoted Irving Goffman, saying, "When an individual appears before others, he or she will have many motives for trying to control the impression they receive on the situation." The identity theory, management theory, ITM, IMT for short, abbreviation, which is an intercultural communication theory that is from the 1990s. That's important because it shows how an individual identified as their impression and how they present themselves to others. It's also how people will identify you as when you show yourself and how you perceive yourself. But it's also how you are a person through your actions and behaviors. Also, it's how you handle yourself with various situations you are in. I know a lot about this theory because I did a research about it, and I'm going to put it to you guys and tell you how it's all about. Identity management theory is where people can identify you throughout your different ways, such as behavior, actions, and background. It's how you perceive yourself to others and how they view you as a person. Today you will learn how identity management is based within the people and how they identify others by their point of view as their actions. INT plays a big role in everyday life and society, whether you're talking to a friend, having an interview, or just simply talking to people. Identity management was developed by these theorists, which is Tadasu Todd Imaori and William Kupa. They based it on the book of Irving Kaufman, on the book on easy essays on face-to-face. That's where they got their idea from. They use this communication to compass an image of oneself. The individual represents others to interpersonal encounters. They present the theory on how a person is having a conversation and how they are able to maintain face-to-face even in a hard time through conversations, in a hard situation. And how an individual reveals their communication skills also. They use communication components on how a person handles their controls. The theory suggests that people behave according to their goals and that a person, competency, and the identity all work together in our interactions with others. For those who don't know what identity management is where an individual shows their principles, their communication skills, and behavior when they're speaking to another person while maintaining a personal face-to-face interaction. It's important to know to master these skills because that's how people will remember you and will have a picture of you and will identify you as if you're either a good speaker or you're not. It's all about how you perceive yourself to others and how you are leaving a good impression. So for the current event, there's a theory that is comparative critical analysis of identity management on Facebook, where they did a study where China Media Research. It deals with how they did it based upon a culture, which is Asian Indians and living in India, and the other ones in the U.S. They perceived on how they see themselves on Facebook. Well, right here, this is how you show yourself to others. If you show off too much, they won't really like you. And this one shows how you will perceive the person at the beginning of the day. So back to Facebook. So they pretty much did a research where the Asian Indians just pretty much that are in India are really into their culture, and they just talk about their politics and their culture and their pictures on Facebook. But when the Asian Indians that are living in the U.S. they have a more freedom of what they believe in, so they post other stuff. And so people that are friends with them, they saw that how they perceive themselves and how they are so into their culture. So that's what they did for the current event. It says on the article of China Media Research, Roy said, the study was to show the role on social media in the construction and presentation of self-identity of two groups of people hating from the nation state but residing in different culture settings. The study is also to prove how influences of two groups construct their identities in the world of Facebook. It was also to see what they post about themselves and how they show themselves. So, how they apply the theory today would be that this shows that ones living in the U.S. are more free and don't mind posting issues about their homeland and their adopted land. The ones living in India only post about issues in India, only identifying who they are. So it also helps the viewers identify a person through social media because that's what a person is showing by their post. So there's some other theories that are doing this line of research, which are Blake E. Ashford and Fred Mael. What Blake and Fred are using with this theory is social identification and perception of where within a group or two identify stands for categorization of individuals, in which they see the stereotypes in which group of people see the outcomes of the group formation. The theory is also applied to the organization, socialization, role conflict, and intergroup. They are analyzing their races. So in conclusion, it's all about how a person views it from a point of view and what you identify you in a category. So identity management is an important role in society because you will leave a mark at the end whenever you go. So without identity management, there wouldn't be like top MVPs or anything, and it's pretty much how a person identifies you as you wouldn't be a member of a frat or sorority or just a spouse or a worker. So it's up to you, and that's how identity management is being based on the culture.